Hello, friends. I am Tom Downey. That is Jimmy Crowther. We're going to break down the latest around Anthony Davis to kick things off here. As it seems, Jimmy, AD is going to take his time about making a decision on his contract future.
Yeah, we're rolling up on day 3 of free agency at this point, and day 1 of when signings can become official, and still no word on Anthony Davis. Now, Adrian Wojnarowski, right when free agency opened, basically said, look, AD's going to weigh all of his contract options. He's going to take his time, and we're going to see what kind of money he gets. He's probably, actually, definitely going to get the maximum amount that he's able to this year, but we might not see him get the maximum amount of years at this point, simply because he's not eligible for the 5-year Supermax yet, and he wants to wait until he gets there so we could see him sign kind of a 1+1 deal to where he gets to that point and can make more money in a couple of off seasons or maybe even next off season. Look, Laker fans, he's going to be back.
Yeah,
the question is, when will he be back?
Yeah, get your votes in here. Do you think Anthony Davis will sign today now that players can officially sign? Y for yes, N for no. I'm going to go with no. I think he's going to take his time and explore and discuss some other options here.
I think there's a good chance AD does something dramatic and announces it on Thanksgiving morning when we're all sitting down ready to eat our turkey, and then all of a sudden, here we are. Usually it's the 4th of July that free agents are announcing when things are going to happen. This year, we might get a Thanksgiving Day announcement from Anthony Davis.
All right, Jimmy, take me through what's going on here with this Instagram story. You love a good Instagram post.
I do, of course. Not as much as Mitchell Ren's 365, but no one does. So Danny Green, former Los Angeles Laker, now a member of the Philadelphia 76ers via the Oklahoma City Thunder, posted on his story last night and basically just said, "Congrats, Anthony Davis, on getting the bag," is what he was saying here. And nothing had been announced about Anthony Davis getting signed. So he leaves it up for about an hour, and then all of a sudden, poof, it's gone. So I'm thinking AD was like...
Just like Dwight Howard saying he was going to go back to the Lakers.
Exactly. So I'm thinking AD called up Danny Green and was like, "Hey, man, delete that. I haven't announced anything. I'm trying to get some more money here. Just chill out for a second." So, listen, he's going to be back again, but... you know, we might have gotten a leak. I was up late last night, and I was like, guys, be ready because something's about to go down because Danny Green just broke some news. But there was nothing official, so we could get something here soon.
All right, folks, there are NBA jerseys on sale up to 25% off, by the way, at chatsports.com/NBA jerseys. Of course, the LeBron James ones, but a ton of different players and teams. They're all available. Go check them out today at chatsports.com/NBA jersey. Now, Jimmy, the Lakers have been very active and moving pieces around here. Their current lineup, I think they took the approach of the same team will not win this upcoming season. So they've made some moves, and I kind of like it quite a bit.
Yeah, this could be their new potential starting lineup. Maybe KCP is right back in there. We'll just have to remain.
Maybe he becomes your sixth man. You got options.
Yeah, listen, I think KCP or maybe even Dennis Shroder is better suited in a six-man role, and Wesley Matthews as a starter, but less minutes for him.
That makes sense.
But either way, right now, Schroder is probably your starting point guard unless you just go with LeBron. And then I think you start Harrell in the middle next to Anthony Davis and then bring JaVale off the bench. I think it makes a lot of sense, but I think so much could change here. You could see KCP in the starting five. You could see JaVale McGee in the starting five. You could even see Alex Caruso step into a starting position and guys like Schroder or Harrell coming off the bench. Everything could change for this Laker team, but all we know right now is that their top five is way better than their top five was last year.
All right, so everyone in the comments, predict the Lakers starting five. Who is it going to be? The two freebies, of course, are LeBron James and Anthony Davis. And then there are a bunch of different options. And then the Lakers, of course, might not be done. So let me know in the comments who you think the Lakers starting five is going to be. Let's talk Montrezl Harrell, one of these surprising moves the Lakers pulled off. They convinced him to leave the Clippers and come to the Lakers, Jimmy.
Yeah, I kind of just wanted to bring up the fact that the Lakers are doing everything they can to keep their guys happy.
It's aggressiveness.
They bring in Montrezl Harrell, and they brought him in on a mid-level exception, the full mid-level. This was a guy that I thought was going to be going and trying to get $15 to $18 million a year, and he settles for $9 million a year over the next 2 years. And this is a guy that Could come in right away. Like I said, he can start. He can play your sixth man, as he just won Sixth Man of the Year with the Clippers. And not only is this a move for the Lakers where they're like, hey, we're going to go get a win-now player, this is a move where they take a great player away from probably their biggest competitor in the Western Conference in the Los Angeles Clippers. Now, they did replace him with Serge Ibaka, which I thought was an excellent move by the other Los Angeles team. But losing a guy that puts up 19 points per game, it's hard to replace.
They also picked up Dennis Shroder as part of a trade with the Oklahoma City Thunder, a move that I like quite a bit. I think he's going to give them another. He can handle point. He can run off ball. I think he's a good fit for this LA team.
Yeah, it's a guy that a lot of Laker fans were talking about before the offseason, and then all of a sudden they bring him in in a way that I didn't think was possible. I know the Thunder were trying to just shed salary, but I didn't think the players and the pick that they gave up to get Dennis Shroder was going to be nearly enough for the Los Angeles Lakers. There was also talk before the offseason that Schroder wasn't interested in playing for the Lakers, but then he got there, and he's happy now, as I think most Laker fans are. And again, this is a guy that can start for you, or he can come off the bench.
I brought this up to you, and I'm glad we put it in the show. Rob Pelinka, who at the time was like, they hired an agent, look at those idiots. I think he's actually really good at this, Jimmy. I think he's a really good general manager.
He comes in, he gets Anthony Davis in there. He gets LeBron James in there. He adds 2 Sixth Man of the Year candidates in Dennis Shroder and Montrezl Harrell. He replaces a $15 million Danny Green with a $3 million Wesley Matthews. That brings you basically the exact same thing. You re-sign Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. You maintain JaVale McGee. You maintain Alex Caruso. Obviously,
probably not done yet.
Right. You obviously lose a couple guys like Avery Bradley, but that was, to be expected. And when you replace Avery Bradley with Schroder and then replace Dwight Howard with Montrezl Harrell, you're going to be just fine.
Let's talk Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Then he is heading back to the Lakers on a 3-year, $40 million deal. It is fairly expensive, but there were some bird rights, so from a cap perspective, it ends up being okay there. Look, he's coming off his best three-point shooting season of his career. I think that's important for LA.
Yeah, he comes off as he is their 3-and-D guy now. They didn't have one of those like going into what they have right now. Their best 3-and-D player was kind of undersized with Alex Caruso. Now, I will say this about the Lakers right now. Their wing depth is still lacking. I know you had Wesley Matthews. I know you have KCP. You obviously have LeBron James. But outside of that, your wing depth needs to improve just a little bit.
Hence the rumors around Bogdanovich as an option.
Absolutely. I think another defensive guy is definitely something to watch for this Laker team, at least a wing defender. I think they would have liked a guy like Jay Crowder, who ended up going to the Phoenix Suns, or a guy like Derrick Jones Jr., who ended up going to the Portland Trail Blazers. But there's still some quality players out there, and there's still some quality trades to be made for this Lakers team. We just talked about how good Rob Pelinka is. Don't doubt him. I think there's another move somewhere up his sleeve.
Now, for all the Lakers fans watching right now, if you aren't already subscribed to our Lakers channel, it is youtube.com/LakersTV. Rapidly growing, Jimmy.
Quickly growing. Our last video just did about a quick 150K views in just a couple of hours.
I'm not good at math, but that's a lot.
It's a lot of views, and so if you guys haven't seen it, it probably means you're not subscribed, so go check us out at youtube.com/LakersTV. I've got you covered. When I can't get to something, my guy Harrison Graham's got you, so go ahead, check us out, youtube.com/LakersTV, where we're breaking down every free agent signing, every move the Lakers are making on a consistent basis.
Now, one of those other moves they made was the addition of Wesley Matthews, 1 year, $3.6 million. We'll see if he starts or if he comes in off the bench, or if early in the year they kind of experiment with different lineups and starters and all that. But I like this pickup for LA.
Yeah, so something that was rumored before the offseason actually started, and here they are now as they bring him in right away on a $3 million deal. Again, the move in itself is not that significant. Like, the addition of Wesley Matthews does not completely change the trajectory of this team. What I liked so much about this Lakers move is the fact that you go from Danny Green at $15 million to Wesley Matthews at $3 million, and that is a $12 million difference for a guy that brings you almost everything Danny Green does. Now, Wesley Matthews is not quite as athletic. He's not quite as quick as Danny Green is, and maybe at this point he's not as good of a finisher around the rim, but other than that, you ask Danny Green to come in and be a 3-and-D guy, that's what Wesley Matthews is on a $12 million less deal.
All right, so what was your favorite pickup of the major Lakers moves so far? Was it Dennis Shroder? Type in DS. Wesley Matthews? Type in WM. Or Montrezl Harrell? Type in MH. Next time, let's put in just L for Montrezl Harrell so we can actually say it.
Yeah, Montrezl. You know what? I'm going to actually say I think Montrezl was by far the most surprising.
Mm-hmm.
I think Dennis Shroder answered the biggest need for this Lakers team. So I would be typing DS, but of course everything kind of ties back to Anthony Davis.
That's going to be the favorite pickup for all LA fans.
Yeah.
Once that's done.
Yeah, exactly. But at the end of the day, listen, Anthony Davis still hasn't signed. We still have no word on what he's going to do. I don't think he's leaving. I don't think he's going anywhere. But the question is, when is he going to end up signing that deal, and how much and how long is it going to be for?